UFC President Dana White has shared his thoughts on Islam Makhachev's recent comments about potentially moving up to the middleweight division, while Dana acknowledges that a jump to welterweight, 170 pounds, could be a realistic possibility. He doesn't seem too keen on the idea of Makhachev skipping an entire weight class and going straight to middleweight, 185 pounds. Islam Makhachev, the current UFC lightweight champion, has dominated the division and has even expressed interest in testing himself against bigger opponents. In a recent statement, he made it clear that if given the chance, he would gladly move up to middleweight to fight the newly crowned champion Dricus du Plessis. This is a bold statement, as very few fighters in UFC history have made the leap from 155 pounds to 185 pounds without stopping at 170 pounds first. However, when Dana White was asked about the idea of Makhachev challenging for the middleweight title, his response was less than enthusiastic. White stated, "Middleweight? Yeah, I don't know about that. He wants to move up to 170, we can talk. Moving up to 185 is a whole other level." Dana's hesitation is understandable. Fighters moving up one division is already a tough challenge, but skipping an entire weight class to face bigger and stronger opponents is a rare and risky move. Would you like to see Islam Makhachev take this leap? Should he be given the opportunity to fight at 185 pounds, or should he prove himself at 170 pounds first? Let us know your thoughts. Meanwhile, Daniel Cormier thinks Alex Pereira is making a risky decision by cornering Strickland once again for his upcoming rematch with Dricus du Plessis next week at UFC 312. Alex himself has a fight coming up at UFC 313, where he will be defending his light heavyweight title against Magomed Ankalaev. Daniel Cormier believes Alex is taking a big risk by cornering Sean in the middle of his own training camp for Magomed. On his YouTube channel, DC said what we do know is that Alex Pereira is going to be fighting a guy that could be his most formidable opponent because of the style. But we also have to take into effect that his relationship with Strickland is so strong that he's willing to travel across the world to corner him. To me, it seems dangerous. It seems risky for Alex to go all that way to Australia, knowing everything that goes into a training camp and how hard that travel can be on your body when you're preparing to defend your world championship. So, how strong is that bond? How much does Strickland mean to Alex Pereira for him to take that risk? Because, trust me, it's a risk. In other news, Dana White has made it clear that the UFC will move on from the highly anticipated heavyweight title unification fight between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall if a deal isn't finalized soon. For months, Dana has been optimistic about making Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall happen. Fans have been eagerly waiting for an official announcement, as this would be one of the biggest heavyweight fights in recent history. However, despite the excitement, there have been ongoing delays in securing the matchup, and now Dana is making it clear that the UFC won't wait forever. Speaking on the situation, Dana addressed the rumors and speculation surrounding the fight during an interview with the Mac Life. He emphasized that while the UFC is determined to book this fight, they have a plan B if things don't come together in time. 100%, if we don't get the fight done, we move on and make another fight. But not last night, but the night before, I was up in my room with people until like 6 o'clock in the morning. We're working on lots of stuff right now. There's lots of really good things going on right now. There's no situation. It's the biggest fight we can make. Dana also took a moment to address the ongoing fan debate about Jon Jones's willingness to fight. Some critics have suggested that Jones might be avoiding Aspinall, but Dana was quick to shut down those claims. I know the fans like to mess with Jon or whatever. Jon Jones isn't afraid of anybody, and Jon Jones will fight anybody. It's just a matter of getting the fight done. Now, that's our job. At this point, all eyes are on the UFC to see whether this fight will finally be booked or if they will shift gears and look for another big heavyweight matchup. If the negotiations don't progress soon, who do you think should be next in line for Aspinall? Should the UFC move forward with another fight, or should they keep pushing for Jones versus Aspinall? Let us know your thoughts. Dricus du Plessis couldn't hold back his laughter when asked about Alex Pereira once again cornering Strickland. The reigning UFC middleweight champion found it hilarious that Pereira would be in Strickland's corner for an upcoming fight, just as he was in their previous bout. According to du Plessis, Pereira's presence in the corner doesn't make much of a difference, mainly because of the language barrier between the two fighters. During an interview, Dricus openly mocked the situation, saying he was in the corner in the first fight too. I mean, they don't even speak the same language. It doesn't really make much of a difference whether he's in the corner or not. After making his point, du Plessis burst into laughter, adding another jab at Strickland. Sean can barely understand his own coach, who's also American. How is he going to understand Alex Pereira? It's no secret that Pereira and Strickland have an unusual relationship, going from rivals in the octagon to cornering each other during fights. But Plessis clearly doesn't see it as a strategic advantage for Strickland. In fact, he finds the whole situation downright amusing. With Pereira continuing to support Strickland inside the cage, the question remains, does Alex's presence actually help Sean, or is this just a bizarre UFC friendship? Let us know what you think. Conor McGregor is back in the spotlight after launching a wild and unfiltered rant at his longtime rival Khabib Nurmagomedov. The two former UFC champions have reignited their bitter feud following Usman Nurmagomedov's recent victory over Paul Hughes. Khabib was in Usman's corner, while Conor had been publicly supporting Hughes, a fellow Irish fighter. However, tensions escalated after a post-fight exchange between Hughes and Khabib went viral. In the clip, Hughes told Khabib, "I'm not like Conor. I'm my own man." This remark infuriated McGregor, who lashed out, not just at Khabib, but also at Hughes himself. Conor even went so far as to tell Hughes that he shouldn't be carrying the Irish flag because he's from Northern Ireland, a statement that quickly sparked controversy. Khabib responded by taking another direct shot at McGregor, reposting the quote on his Instagram story and calling Conor a drug addict and arrogant. But Conor didn't back down. Instead, he fired back on X, formerly Twitter, with one of his most bizarre and aggressive rants to date. In a post that, surprisingly, he hasn't deleted, McGregor wrote, "15 minutes, I done Aldo. 15 seconds. Show your wife. Expletive. Show your kids. Expletive. Cousin mother. Hiding mother. Show us you and your cousin's kids together, because we have kids here in Ireland that want to smoke them in competition. Are they competing or what? You saying Ireland versus Dagestan. Where's your offspring? We can't wait to see them. The best of Dagestan offspring. Dagestan, what do we think? Is this true? Who's next? Cause Fatso with the coach whistle won't fight. Who's the designated fat master? Certainly not his own father, Abdul Manap, and they all know it in Dagestan. Dagestan thinks you're weak for retiring. Real Dagestan is forever. You are laughed at behind your back in Dagestan. Lazy you are. They say fight me and make $100 million and give it to the entire village of Dagestan, but you won't. Why? Fat, lazy, scared. Lazy fat's up. The post is filled with incoherent insults, challenges, and personal attacks, showing that McGregor's hatred toward Khabib is still alive. Fans and analysts alike are wondering, is this just Conor being Conor, or is he trying to bait Khabib out of retirement? Let us know your thoughts. Dana White addresses Bryce Mitchell's controversial views and potential UFC punishment. Bryce Mitchell has been making headlines recently, but not for his performances inside the octagon. Instead, the conversation has shifted toward his controversial beliefs and whether the UFC will take action against him. During a Power Slap press conference, UFC CEO Dana White was asked if Mitchell would face any consequences for his statements. Dana didn't hold back in his response, making it clear where he stands on the situation. That's what everybody wants to hear about. Punishments and free speech. I don't have to love it. You don't have to love it. You know, I agree with that. The free speech sentiment is there. However, Dana acknowledged concerns about what might happen if Mitchell wins a fight and gets hold of a microphone. But in true Dana fashion, he offered a blunt and unfiltered take on the matter. That's the beautiful thing about this business. For all of you that hate Bryce Mitchell, you get to see him hopefully get his ass whooped on global television. I mean, what do you want me to say about it? Dana then personally attacked Mitchell, calling him one of the dumbest human beings and mocking a bizarre incident from his past. Let's not forget that this is a guy who took a drill through his sack, then had to reverse course and put the drill back out of it. That's the level of stupid that we're talking about here. He concluded by highlighting how social media gives a platform to even the most ignorant individuals. Dumb people who are really stupid and really ignorant can have a voice. It's clear that while Dana supports free speech, he isn't exactly a fan of Mitchell's opinions. Will this controversy affect Mitchell's UFC career? Time will tell. So that's it for today. What do you think about Bryce Mitchell's controversy? Is Dana right? And what about Conor McGregor's disrespectful rant? Most people believe this will spark a new feud between Conor and Khabib. Conor directly insulted Khabib's family, including his father, brothers, wife, and even his religion. Do you think this is crossing the line? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your opinions.